one team, sharing one goal and one dream.
Fueled by perseverance, hard work, and passion. This is Edu-Catalyst.
Bridging minds and building futures.
Shaping oneself as a steward of progress. As future educators, we are tasked with the important responsibility of creating a safe and conducive learning environment where all students can thrive.
Field Study 2 provided us with the opportunity to gain first-hand experiences in a classroom setting, allowing us to observe and interact with students, teachers, and other school personnel.
Through this field study, our understanding of the principles of effective teaching and learning have deepened, and it provided valuable insights into the challenges and rewards of being a teacher. Action research is a dynamic process that is categorized under applied research. For a teacher's life, the primary purpose of conducting action research is an advocacy to improve school practices and solve classroom-based teaching and learning-related issues, to find applicable ways and means to address these issues that usually bothers practitioners' execution of their job. And this activity, the theories that we have learned by preparing an action plan was put into practice as we plan our classroom-based action research.
Our Field Study 2 Worksheet 1 focuses on the action research plan. So the first part of our action research, wherein the introduction of our study serves to capture the attention of the readers and reviewers by emphasizing the importance of our research topic and providing a background for the study's context in enhancing the learning environment. We also included the approval sheet, acknowledgement, table of contents, and abstract. For the approval sheet, we will ask for assistance and guidance from our Field Study 2 mentor, Ms. Catherine Queroda. Additionally, we would like to thank the different resource teachers from PMHS and their students for welcoming us warmly and allowing us to observe them. Without their cooperation and involvement, we wouldn't be able to gather the information for this action research plan.
This is for the plan execution and reflection. So for plan execution, we carry out our plan. We prepare the different parts of our classroom-based action research, and then we focus only on the indicated parts such as the introduction, problem identification, generation of alternative solution, and the plan. In the plan planning, we can describe our action research experience as challenging, since we were under pressure to begin the plan and it has been difficult for us to create action research strategy. Enlightening, since we were exposed to new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities. Adaptable, since this action research allowed us to respond to challenges, changes, and new insights, ultimately enhancing the effectiveness of our work. So all in all, this collaborative effort allowed us to pool our knowledge and expertise, resulting in a more comprehensive and well-rounded action research study. Worksheet number 2. The learning environment is another important component component aside from the curriculum in the teaching learning process. This activity exposes us another learning experience which enables us to make our learning environment safe and conducive. As we immerse in the learning environment, we will learn the different methods and strategies to maximize the involvement of the learners in the different classroom activities. Under the observation part, we conducted an interview focused on how teachers manage their classrooms, make lessons relevant to all, and engage students in all learning activities. Based on the data gathered, most of the teachers establish rules and regulations such as maintaining cleanliness to make their classroom organized and conducive to learning. With regards to the lessons, teachers allow learners to reflect and share their experiences and applies the concept of contextualization to ensure that learners grasp lessons effectively. Moreover, teachers engage learners in the activities through facilitating individual and group tasks that fosters communication and collaboration. Moving on, we also analyze how a typical classroom is structured. The results of our class observations show that the classroom is designed to be safe, secure, and conducive to learning. And to achieve this, a comfortable learning space must be provided through proper arrangement of classroom tools and equipment like tables and chairs and providing good ventilation. Apart from this, a typical classroom is also structured through classroom management strategies like setting rules or agreements such as coming to school on time and keeping the room clean and tidy. We also had a thorough analysis of how learners communicate or interact during classes, and based on our observations, learners exhibit varying levels of interaction. Some easily express their thoughts and ideas in class, while others remain passive unless called by their teacher. Furthermore, the classroom routines and procedures we observe include the usual preliminaries like opening prayer, greetings, and checking off attendance, after which teachers facilitate a review of the previous lesson to help learners bridge their prior knowledge to a new one. Motivational activities that allows communication and collaboration also takes place. Finally, assessment activities are provided to determine if learners have understood the lesson and if there is a need for remediation. Overall, we can apply this to promote essential learning by identifying the different learning styles, interests, and needs of our learners in order to not lose sight or regard of the important aspects of learning. For the last question in the analysis part, a safe and conducive learning environment fosters better educational experiences and higher academic achievement as it affects learners' motivation and attitude toward learning.
It is an important aspect of the teacher duty to ensure a safe and supported learning setting. In a previous means it is established to a conducive learning environment. When the learners start the course, it is essential to set ground rules. Reading this, it is necessary that the learners create these rules, ascertain a sense of ownership over the rules. Furthermore, teachers have created a sense of order. As learners enter the classroom, the teacher should welcome everyone. For them to teach and understand, learners tend to be happier and more engaging.
Classroom management plan is the key component in any educational setting and one of the crucial parts of the teaching learning process. This activity focuses on creating a classroom learning management plan that will make teachers and students more productive. This includes making the classroom safe and challenging environment, engaging students through the curriculum, as well as getting to know them and interacting with each other. Pre-service teachers should develop a democratic and equitable learning environment so that students can learn effectively.
Activity 3 focusing on creating my classroom learning management plan. The pre-service teacher identifies the best practices for creating effective learning management plan and also to promote behavioral, social, and academic success in a structured environment that caters to tolerance, exemplary behavior, and learning. Effectively managing the classroom and addressing the diverse needs of students is essential in the teaching and learning process. It serves as a fundamental element in any educational setting, as a secure learning environment is crucial for the success of the teaching learning activities. This task removes revolves around establishing a classroom routine that enhances productivity for both teachers and students. As an aspiring educator, your dedication should be directed towards creating a safe and stimulating atmosphere in the classroom. Striving to cultivate a democratic and fair learning environment is imperative for the optimal effectiveness of student learning. Highlights of the activity include: first, learning management. Classroom management refers to the strategies and techniques that educators use to create and maintain an environment conducive to learning. It involves a combination of organization, communication, and discipline to establish a positive and productive classroom atmosphere. Next is safe learning environment. A safe learning environment is a crucial foundation for effective education and student success. It encompasses physical, emotional, and psychological safety. Next is creating a classroom routine. Creating a well-structured and effective classroom routine is essential for promoting a positive and productive learning environment.
A lesson plan is a teacher's compendium on what the students need to learn and how it be done effectively during class time. It also involves the designing and incorporating various learning activities to obtain substantive feedback on a student's learning. In this segment of our learning experience, we have been exposed to the various activities that allows us to examine different lesson plan exemplars and its part, and an opportunity to create our own lesson plan. The learning objective that we achieved in this segment is to describe a lesson plan and its part of a specified model, construct and revise our own lesson plan, align with our specialization, and reflect on the feedback for improvement of our teaching practice.
What do you observe about the format of the lesson plan presented to you? Based on our observation, daily lesson logs or DLL, which record various aspects of each daily lesson. Number 2, describe the parts of each lesson plan model. A. Objective. This part of DLL is related to content knowledge and competencies. B. Content is the topic or the subject matter pertaining to the content that the lesson focuses on. C. Learning resources is a part of DLL that asks teachers to log the references and other learning resources that the teacher will use for the lesson. D. Procedures. E. Remarks. This part of DLL is where teachers should indicate special cases, including, but not limited to, the continuation of lesson plan to the following day. F. Reflection. This part of DLL requires teachers to reflect and assess their effect.
Analysis part, it asks a series of questions with regards to the lesson plan exemplar borrowed from our cooperating teacher. For the first question, which part from the model is easy and difficult to construct? From the 10 parts model lesson plan, the easiest part to construct is making generalizations and abstractions because the teacher would just ask first students to wrap up their understanding of the lesson. On the other hand, the most difficult is establishing a purpose for the lesson because this part needs the most planning to motivate students and catch their attention. It is very laborious, time-consuming, and costly to create materials to be used in the activity. Next, what teaching method is used in each plan? The teacher employed a combination of traditional, modern, inquiry-based, group and independent learning methods to cater the diverse learning styles of learners and promote academic achievement. Lastly, describe the congruence of the lesson plan from the intended learning outcomes to the supporting activities and assessments. It can be gleaned that all the supporting activities, assessment, and overall lesson plan are all aligned to the learning outcomes stated by the teacher. This translates to the successful attainment of objectives and effectivity of the lesson plan.
Delivering the lessons and selection and utilization of various teaching aids. As an overview for Field Study 2, Worksheet 5, teaching aids are essential for delivering effective lessons and helping learners gain competence in determining and preparing instructional materials. These aids can be non-digital or digital. with both play significant roles in the teaching to learning process, while non-digital aids provide tangible and hands-on experiences. Digital aids enhance engagement and success in learning. Future educators should consider using a combination of non-digital and digital aids to cater to diverse learning styles. Both types of aids offer unique benefits and limitations, and a balanced approach can create a rich and effective learning environment. Ultimately, the selection and utilization of teaching aids are crucial for promoting learning engagement, understanding, and preparation for the modern world.
Delivering lessons and the selection and utilization of various teaching aids enable the learners to gain competence in determining and preparing instructional materials that are appropriate to the learnable content. Non-digital teaching aids will always find their significance in teaching learning process. However, in this new media age, learners' engagement and success in learning can be increased by integrating digital teaching aids. In addition, future educators must consider the aspect of using digital and non-digital teaching aids both as instructional and educational tools. For the observation part, we were asked to list below the digital and non-digital teaching aids we used and what are the strengths and weaknesses of each teaching aids, as well as what the evaluator said about the teaching aids that we use.
For the analysis, it tells about how our teaching aids we utilize to reflect on the interests of our students. In this part, we need to answer the question about how did we utilize our teaching aids that we use, stimulates and captures the interest of our students, and if used teaching aids and effective to the learner's learning process. While on create part, it would ask that will be a chance again what enhancement or replacement we will do to utilize our teaching aids. We had our own part of teaching aids that we want to enhance as we feel to need the improvement. We answer about our teaching aids durability, and it was very important part of teaching. For the reflection, we challenge with the questions if you will teach your group demonstrated in virtual classroom, what plans, strategies, and digital application would you use? How will you manage and utilize digital application and web application in your virtual classroom? As we answer each part of the lesson, we realize that there are many improvements we must do to make reliable, durable, and useful teaching aids in teaching and demonstrating. We realize the importance of digital and non-digital teaching aids as we observe how these teaching aids help in delivering lessons to the learners. For the overview of Activity 6, the pre-service teachers will be exposed to various DepEd forms and e-class records. For them to identify its purpose and uses, they will be given opportunities to examine and accomplish different forms, compute quarterly grades and final grades, and accomplish e-class records that align to their specialization.
For the FS2 Worksheet 6, it's about the grading system and DepEd school form. For its intended learning outcomes, we, the field studies students, must be able to identify the school forms, its purpose and uses, to download and fill out sample DepEd school forms, and to do sample computation of grades using the DepEd assessment criteria. So teachers in the basic education implementing the K-12 program uses electronic class record and Excel format to facilitate high level of accuracy in the computation of learners' grades. For the part 1, which is the grading system, since we have different specialization, we also use different percentages based on the subject aligned with us. Overall, there are 5 subjects. These are the English, Filipino, Science, Araling Panlipunan, and CLE. In the activity, we computed the quarterly grade of the 3 learners, which consists of their written works, quarterly assessment, and performance tasks.
Aside from the K-12 grading system and electronic class record templates, there are different DepEd forms which allowed us to accomplish at varied times within a school year. At the end of this activity, we, the FS2 students, are exposed to various DepEd forms and e-class records. This activity will give us an opportunity to examine and accomplish different forms, compute quarterly grades and final grades, and lastly, accomplish e-class records aligned with our specialization.